Hello viewers, Super GT here once again with some more Ford GT gameplay, and again of me stalling off the line. Haven't clearly sorted my shit out, but we do eventually get away after losing about 4,000 positions before turn 1, down into 20th of 21. So let's see what we can do from here. Now this is last week's Ford GT League, of course. Now this week's league is the V8 Supercars, which I will try to bring some gameplay on during this week at some point. But as we come into the second and third turn here, it's getting extremely crowded. I'm just having to go across the grass there to avoid everyone that has spun out and blocked the centre of the track. So we do get through eventually, dropping now into 12th, but back into 11th. We've got someone on our side here, but we've got the inside line for this one. So we can hold station on the inside there and get through into 11th. So actually profiting quite nicely from that major pile-up. So some guy just going straight on there. I'm guessing he died, or controller died, one of the two. And this guy has seemed to have appeared out of nowhere. I'm guessing he cut that last corner before this straight. Let's see as we come into the final turn of the circuit. A really hard turn to get right, really tricky because of the bumps and the walls, I guess. Makes it very tricky. And these two guys are just going to make contact. It's got a bit clumsy, and we've made contact. I've slowed down as well. I could have been a little more aware there and gone around them, but it's always that tricky nature of exiting a corner, especially on a car with no traction control. You don't really want to have to open up the steering too much, and unfortunately resulted in a bit of a coming together there. But I'm still in 11th, so after losing a couple of positions I did gain some back, so a net 11th at the moment. So let's see if we can progress up the order from here. And moving on to the end of lap number 2, still in 11th, but closing up on the battle here. So I'm going to decide to go for an alternating strategy, going into the pits at the end of lap number 2, and then on the exit, coming back out in 17th, just ahead of 18th. He's just behind me there as he comes through the exit of turn 1. So I've actually got a couple of seconds actually on the two guys behind. So this is a crucial phase of the race, so I don't have anyone directly in front of me. So now it's pretty much a matter of setting some clean laps, and then once the other guys pit, then hopefully they'll be behind me and not ahead, or at least I'll be closer to them. So this is, as I say, a very crucial moment in the race. Just got to set those fast laps. Now this section is quite important, or very important. I choose not to touch those curbs around that section. Around this section you can, but it's that earlier section of that complex S section there is not where you don't really want to touch those curbs at all, because it will throw you around. There's also a massive divot on the centre of that turn before you turn to the left. I can show you that in just a moment. So coming around the end of lap number 3 onto lap number 4, we're going to skip ahead to lap number 5. Nothing happened in that lap. And then coming through turn number 1, this guy gets a bad run. I just have to give him room on the outside there, and into turn number 2 I'm just going to get the brakes on him there, and I'll go through adding another position a little bit wide on the exit there. You can dip 2 wheels onto the grass and it kind of hooks you around quite nicely. But then at the end of lap number 5, so start of lap number 6, there are a couple of guys coming out of the pit lane now. So this is where the pit stops will begin to play their parts in the race. So it becomes very exciting when you see someone coming out of the pit lane. You're just not sure if they're going to come out ahead of you or behind. So by lap number 7 here, we have caught right up, and there is someone else just ahead. I go for a lunge into this turn. Go a little bit too late though. So he does the cut back on me. Fair enough, good move. I was a little bit too eager to get past there. And then into the second to last turn. This one's really crucial. And I get a little bit of oversteer there, which does not help my run down the straight. And then as we progress to the start of lap number 8, this guy's just going to filter out ahead of me. So look at that, just getting the move done, keeping his position there in 10th. And as we go to turn number 2, I've got a very good momentum run on him into turn number 2 there on the brakes. So I managed to go through into 10th. Very compliant driver from him as well though, because that's the kind of move in a normal lobby where someone will just turn in. You kind of put yourself on the inside, fair enough, and then the other guy just turns in, either not knowing that you're there or just because he thinks he can still turn in anyway. But thankfully this Pinnacle lobby here, a lot of the drivers are very good, and I know a lot of them, so you can expect very compliant racing in this lobby. Now I've caught up to the back of this guy. I'm still in 10th, so inside the top 10, which is not too bad given I was 18th, or no, sorry, 20th, going into turn 1 on lap 1. So we can still gain a couple of positions here. We don't know if there's anyone else to pit. Probably everyone has pitted by this stage. It is very late in the race. Coming into turn number 2, I've got a good run out of 1, and I'm on the brakes. A little late, but just managed to get it round just about. It doesn't think about a move going into turn 3, so I am through just about there. Then moving on to start of number 10, lap number 10. Go past a couple of people in the pit, so moving up to 5th there, and then finishing 5th. So that was actually a really good race. So it turned out that a couple of people did pit really late. Then I did manage to get a couple more positions. But this brings us to the second race of the video. So Yas Marina. Very interesting stuff here. Now this track, we all know, is pretty much hell on earth for a racing driver in Forza 6. But in this Pinnacle lobby, it isn't as bad. I find that people in this lobby are a lot better at obeying the track limits, shall we say. So I'm going to go past a couple of people here, up into 4th already, which is pretty good given I started a bit further back than that. So this section here is really, it's kind of point and squirt really. Get your car around, aim it in a straight line, then hammer that throttle as you go away. Well, don't hammer it, because your car will spin around if you don't have traction control on. So I'm going with this nice Ford Racing livery here. I don't know who it's by. Now people do ask me a lot who's your livery by. Maybe I should do a video on it, going through all of the liveries I used, just so that if you want to use them as well, then you can. Because I can't remember all of these names off by heart. I kind of just download them randomly and then just use them. So I don't really note it down who makes each livery. There are so many good livery makers out there. I would recommend, if you do find a good one, then just click follow on that person who made the tune or the paint, and therefore their names will come up quicker in the search when you look for more liveries later. So that is a quick way of finding people that you trust and like. So we're going to move to the end of lap number 2. In 3rd place, I'm going to get hammered wide, and then coming back onto the track we have just about kept 3rd place. So not losing the position, but losing plenty of time. So as you can see there, I was right behind the top 2 and losing a bit of time, but then at the end of lap number 5, the guy in the lead decided to pit, so pretty much halfway through the race or 1 lap away. Now this guy is going to go very defensive, a very unusual line. I'm nowhere near being able to overtake him, but he does come back across eventually to take the normal racing line. But I have gained through turn 1, so now this is a direct battle for the lead of the race. Now it's going to be very interesting strategy wise to see what happens here, because we were fairly evenly matched for the first 5 laps of the race, and we're going to go for a move into turn number 4, and on the brakes I get it done very nicely, hook up with the apex perfectly, and I'm through into the lead. It's going to be still very interesting to see exactly where the guy who pitted just a moment ago is going to filter back in. So this is a very crucial phase in the race once again. It always is when someone else pits. You just have to hammer in those lap times and just hope for that they don't hammer in their lap times, then hopefully you'll get ahead once you have both done your pit stops. So coming into the hairpin at the end of the lap, braking pretty much on the end of that red and white curb there. It's a good reference to use, and it works in most classes for most cars. So of course the higher your class goes, the brakes will get better, but then your car will be travelling at a higher speed entering the corner, so the braking distances are larger. So normally the braking points stay roughly the same depending on the class. But then we are going to go into the pits, so this is going to be very interesting to see where we come back in. Now this is the exit of the pit lane, so let's see, there is 2nd place. We've just about come out ahead, still in the lead. That is about as close as you can get it without losing a position. So thankfully I've rejoined in first, but this sets up a nice showdown for the last 3.5 laps. Going to go slightly defensive into the hairpin and hook up with a late apex. We make contact, there was nowhere for him to go there, so we are just about going to get away here. Now moving on to lap number 10, so we've got about 2.5 laps left. Again into this section, he just wasn't quite able to get close enough, and then on the exit of the hairpin, Concertina effect there, I'm just going to get away because I'm accelerating first. Then at the end of the race, lap number 12, I just managed to keep him at bay for another couple of laps, and we're going to come through to win the race. So that was a very satisfying race, given that the top two guys at the start of the race were very quick. I just managed to keep up with them and then beat them on strategy, just about coming back out in the lead. So very satisfying when that comes around like that, when you just come out the pits and you're just about to get ahead. Really satisfying to see that. But that is going to be the end of this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts. If you're going to be doing the V8 Supercars League as well, let me know, and I might see you online in that this week. So again, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. We're going to hit 25,000 subscribers very soon, and I'm planning to do another open lobby, which I know very many of you are keen to take part in. So that is going to be all for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more, hit that like button, and I hope to see you in my next one. Goodbye.